The mentors that I have now, the leaders that I follow, are people that have been through the same things that I have,
Mhm.
right? We don't come from wealthy families. We come from rough areas. We come from just seeing our parents just work their whole life and not really having much to show for it.
Mhm.
That was a turning point in my career, even just this year, to get that watch, to be like, I have the support and it's time to go all in servicing and helping these people.
Welcome to the Raquel Show. This show is for entrepreneurs who want to play bigger in business and in life. And today I have a very special guest who I've actually known for a couple years now and actually met him at a different brokerage. And now he is a dynamic director of sales and a realtor with a passion of empowering his team and his clients in the Bay Area. He started multiple thriving business and he's driven to be 1% better every single day. And of course, that's what playing bigger is all about. And I'm excited to have this conversation around overcoming challenges and how sometimes even a new environment can help you flourish. So welcome to the show, Randy Garcia.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me again. I'm super excited to get into it, and let's get rolling.
All right, so let's dive right into it. You lead a team of 20, and I know that this did not happen overnight. So what do you think it takes to be a dynamic sales director?
Yeah, for me, I think what it takes is to have, of course, clear goals, clear vision, but also having the right intention, right? Wanting to have what's best for your agents and whatnot and your team, right? And also just providing help when you can, right? And just naturally, in general, I'm a super helpful person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think definitely you lead, right? Your leadership style, you definitely have empathy and you lead from heart of what's best for others. So I think it's natural for you to have stepped into such a leadership role. And I know that being a top producer and leading a team requires different skill sets. I see it all the time. People want to start teams and then they just really suck at it, even though they've been a top producer. So what have you learned about yourself? And who did you actually have to become to lead a team of 20, to lead people today?
So for me, I think that the biggest thing for me was self-development, to really find out what my passion is and figure out like really how to lead a team, right? Like I've led teams in the past and it wouldn't be as successful as it is today, right? So I think going through those trials and tribulations and that experience, it's helped me a lot with this team.
Mhm.
And for me, I think the difference from back then and now is that I don't take things for granted. So this is like a second chance for me, right? To even get the first chance, we're supposed to appreciate that, but I took it for granted. And now with the second chance, I just give it my all, right? For me, there's no fear. There's no fear in failing. And I know the steps because of the leaders that I have, the mentors that I work with,
Mhm.
and seeing what they do on a daily basis, it helps me a lot.
What do you think the difference is when it comes to mentorships and being led by different people? Because you've had a variety of people, and I've seen this even in my journey. What do you think makes the difference for someone to thrive and actually like level up as a leader? Because when you get into leadership, it's no longer about you. In production, you go into sales, it's about you and the client. But then when you're leading multiple personalities and a bigger team, is it no longer becomes you unless you want to have what they call a leadership lid, right? So
Mm.
what do you think makes a big difference if you can go and pull out some lessons from like having just different mentorships, or I would say mentorship or mentors in your life?
I would say two things off the top of my head. Authenticity is huge, like to keep it real, like to call me out if I need to be held accountable,
Mhm.
right? To really have a good and clear picture of their goals, right? And their vision helps a lot because I'm able to execute on different things they want done.
Yeah.
The second thing would be like being not greedy, right? Just sharing the knowledge like you do, right? The Some of the things I admire about you is you share knowledge. You can make an impact just off of meeting them for the first time, a huge positive impact, right? So I think those are two key things to with mentors and whatnot that I look for.
That's really cool. Through your social, I get to follow you on social, even though we don't talk every day. And you talk a lot about like perseverance and overcoming challenges. And for those that are listening, sometimes things don't always go as planned, especially right now with where the market is, right? It's a little bit more challenging than it has been in the previous years, especially like when you're building and growing a business. So, was there a pivotal moment in your world or in your journey that you had to persevere through a significant obstacle? And how do you think that has actually shaped you to who you are today and how you actually lead your people?
Yeah, my journey goes as far back as 18 years old, right? So
Mhm.
I started selling phones in the middle of the mall, the kiosks, right? So
Same.
yeah, at AT&T, and that's like pretty tough sales, right? Going through that helped mold me to persevere through a lot, right? Because you're just greeting people, trying to get them to buy phones and whatnot. And then after that, starting multiple businesses and going through all that good stuff and the ups and downs and the trials and tribulations to going through real estate and persevering and actually doing a good job, right? I did a great job in real estate my first couple of years, and I broke the glass ceiling. So when I broke the glass ceiling, after that you think everything is good and you get comfortable and you're like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna sell this. I'm gonna make this much every year." Right? But in real estate, that's not the case, right? Sometimes, especially with the market.
Right.
Right. At the end of the day, I think that sticking to my habits helped me a lot to persevere through a lot, right? Because you can be tired. I'm tired at the end of the night and I'll still push through and get work done, right? Looking at myself in the mirror and saying, hey, I got to get up and get this stuff done. No matter how tired I am, I have to do it for my family. And that's what helps me persevere. I'll go back a little bit, backtrack a little bit. To go through the glass ceiling and break it, in real estate or in business in general, there's another ceiling right there waiting for you, right? And it's a brick wall,
Mhm.
right? I think that going through that and experiencing the past couple of years what I have, it helps me get through the day and know that everything will be okay, right? Everything's going to be all right. And like you mentioned before, like getting 1% better is what I strive for on a daily basis. It's not going to be a massive jump from selling 20 homes to 50 homes. It could be, right? It could be, but I just look at it as like just getting better every day.
Yeah. One of the things I admire about you is your discipline. I see you sometimes even run on social media and you talk about habits. What have been some of the habits, or like what's even just one or a few that you can contribute those habits really contributed probably to your success today?
Yeah, I would say getting up at 5 in the morning and going for that run, right? And it's crazy because I'm so competitive when I go out there and wake up that early. No one else is out there.
Mhm.
But when I see other people out there and or I wake up 30 minutes late and I see other people, I'm like, oh man, next day I have to get up and get out there before everyone else.
Yeah.
Right. And it translates to the team, right? So we have such a great culture that they come out with me. So a couple of them come out with me too, right? So it's just built showing people that it can be done
Yeah.
really creates culture, right?
Yeah. I think one of the things that you pointed out, and I just want to point this out for even our listeners, is that no matter how tired you are, because I think there becomes this notion sometimes, especially in real estate or entrepreneurship, that it's very sexy, that you've got the freedom of time because you can make your own schedule. But I think you also have to put the grind and the hard work,
Mhm.
right? It's no different than when you obviously have kids and you're a father, is it doesn't matter if you're tired and they're sick in the middle of the night, you still get up no matter what, right?
Exactly.
And I think that's one of the key skills when I study different people, that self-managed discipline, no matter how tired, they don't allow their body to say, I'm tired and call it quits. They just push through. And that's probably one of the things that, like I said, I admire about you. And you speak about culture, your team, it's very different. What do you think makes a good culture?
Everyone likes each other, right? Everyone literally likes each other out on our team, and we actually want to spend time with each other, right? We go out, we go to Top Golf, we have fun, we go on retreats and all that stuff, and there's no tension between our whole team.
Yeah.
And I can say that from the top down. Everyone, if anyone needs to reach anyone, we're here for each other. It's like a family.
Yeah.
So I think that's huge. And I get it. I've been in part of cultures where they grow to massive and massive, and it loses that feel of we're all pushing the same train to success.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I'm looking at when I'm recruiting agents is making sure that everyone's on the same page, making sure everyone's aligned to push that same train to be successful in their business.
Mhm.
Granted, like one agent can say they want to sell 100 homes a year, or one will be like, oh, I want to sell a couple. But as long as you can fit in with our team and make sure that like you're providing value somehow with the right intentions, we'll have you, right? Like we don't need a million top producers. We just need people to be happy,
Yeah.
right?
How do you protect that culture? Because sometimes people could slip through the cracks. You do it on the front end of asking questions and probably recruiting to make sure that they're the right fit. How do you actually protect that and maintain that culture as you guys continue to grow?
That's a tough thing to do, right? Because we're recruiting left and right. I'm recruiting 2 to 3 agents a week now, and we're very selective. To protect the culture, I would say the initial interview is super important. We got to ask, why are you in real estate? What do
Yeah.
you want to accomplish? What are your goals? So once I find that out, I can figure out if we can help them achieve those goals.
Hmm.
Right? If you want to be a top producer, we have the resources for you to be a top producer. If you want to just be a part-time agent and sell 3 to 4 homes a year, then we can accommodate that,
Yeah.
right? Another thing to protect the culture is really our leaders are great, our founders are great. Them being so accessible to our agents helps because they have someone to lean on, right? Real estate's not an easy business. Like we go into it, we think it's easy, but there's some large hurdles we have to go through.
Mhm.
But if you can call someone and that's been in the business for 5 to 10 years and say, hey, what do I do this? They have trust in you
Yeah.
once you give them the solutions.
Can you actually tell when you're interviewing, you interview 2 to 3 people a week, right? Could
Mhm.
you tell if someone's going to be successful? And if so, not only to be on their big why or if they're goal oriented, what do you think are some of the characteristics now having led this team for a while and now also like looking for talent? What do you think makes people successful? What are those characteristics in this business?
So again, two things that I look for: hunger and drive. Those are the two things you cannot teach.
Teach.
You can't teach hunger and drive. We all go through things through our life, and if you can really just always have that hunger to succeed, right? So those are two questions I actually do ask. How hungry are you? I
Starving.
I, I can tell if they're going to be successful just off of those three responses, their why, and to see how hungry they are. And like the crazy thing is, I interviewed a new agent and her hunger and her drive is strong because I asked her, hey, what's your goal in real estate? It's like a couple months ago. We're a couple months in the year. She said, I want to sell 20 homes. She's never sold a home in her life,
Mhm.
right? And to have those goals and to see her come in and day out, like you have it, right? But I would say one thing that I did catch though is sometimes you can't, right? If I was to interview with someone that I get nervous with or whatnot, I can't portray my hunger and drive, right?
Mhm.
But it takes a couple of times meeting with them and working with them, and then you can see if they're really about the work.
Yeah. Yeah. Where do you see agents failing today?
Selling sunset. They're selling
I've
sunset.
actually never watched any of those shows. So when people ask me, have you watched any of those shows? Or they say like a show, I'm like, never seen it. I don't even know how to turn on the TV.
Yeah, that's another thing I bring up to when I talk to new agents. I said it's not like selling sunset,
Right.
right? So I've watched like 1 or 2 episodes, but it looks so glamorous where like you're gonna sell $1 million homes left and right. It's not like that. I would say that another thing where I see new agents failing is they just think it's so easy. They don't self-learn a lot of things. They don't look for self-development, like reading the books. They're scared to ask mentor or people like questions. Like every time I go out and to networking events, I ask, how are you getting business right now? No matter if they're the number one agent in San Francisco, Daly City, wherever it is, I always ask, no matter what, because that's going to be the one biggest value you'll get out of those events, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So good. Now, I know that you've been leading your team for a while. And sometimes people have real estate is an up and down business, right? Unless you have systems that can help you grow and scale, people go through peaks and valleys. How do you motivate some of the people that have had like cancellations? We're seeing a little bit more this in this market, especially in your market, than we ever have. Inventory is tight, interest rates have gone up. Like, how are you keeping your agents motivated and prepared for the market?
Yeah, as far as cancellation goes, cancellations and falling out of escrow and all that good stuff, I've been through it. In the beginning of my career, I was so new to it. I was like, this it didn't happen for the first couple of years because we were selling
Yeah.
in 2020 and 21. Everything was closing, not
Right.
contingent. No one can back out. And then I would say 2022, it was like 2023, like my first cancellations were happening. So
Mhm.
I've been through it,
Yeah.
right?
How do you keep your agents motivated through all of that, through this market?
We talk a lot. We do a lot of one-on-ones.
Okay.
We talk about like where we can get better.
Mm-hmm.
We just go back to setting the right expectations with our clients and our agents to motivate them. I think sometimes I need it myself, right? But I
Yeah.
just always go back to discipline. And I always go back to really what's realistic, right? Why didn't we get this sold or why did they cancel? There could be a better fit out there. At the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, sellers and buyers work with who they're most compatible with. But yeah, I just tell them everything's gonna be okay. We've been through it, right? There's another family to help out there, and let's go find them.
Yeah. And now with obviously what's happening with our biggest change in our industry, that's around the corner in July. How are you prepping your agents and preparing them?
So we do a lot of scripts and role plays.
Okay.
I have two coaches right now that help me get through those things because that's been the topic of discussion the past 2 months,
Right.
right? So we do a lot of scripts and role plays and we do live situations. It's starting to come up now. In our market, it's not, I don't think it'll be affected too much, but we don't know, right?
Mhm.
We don't know. All we can do is be prepared.
Yeah.
So the best thing we do is come up with live situations and practice those,
Yeah.
right? Some of the best agents still script and role play, even from agents that have been in for 10, 20 years, they still script and role play. It works. Don't change up what works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been doing this for a while, and I believe that with success comes failure, right? You can't have success without failure. You can't have happiness without sadness. What has been, and any time that I've talked to a very successful entrepreneur, there was like a failure that stood out to them, and they look back and they're actually, at the moment, it didn't feel so well. But when they look back, they go, that actually was the best thing for my journey because I am who I am today. What is that for you?
I would say having the whole world in my hands and having everything set up where I was doing an amazing job in real estate. My family was great. We had the money coming in. I had a lot in my bank account, but I failed by not having the right foundation set in place. I
Mhm.
failed by not investing my money wisely. Those two things stand out to me. And this was just a couple years ago, right? Can you go from here, working your way up, like from 18 all the way up to having so much in your account and being able to do whatever you want to do and having expensive taste and going on trips and vacations and all that stuff to like hitting rock bottom?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? How are you going to react? Are you going to fold or are you going to just keep getting better and rise back to the top? So that's the one thing, yeah, going back to the answer, not having the right foundation, not setting those systems up in place just in case something happens. We come off of a year where I'm selling 50 homes and the next year I'm selling half. Right.
Hmm.
The bills don't change, things don't change. The family's lifestyle takes a hit because of that, right? Because we didn't prepare. But
Yeah.
I never been through. I never had money growing up, right? And to have it and go through all of those things and experience it did change me a lot, but I humbled myself, right? And I
Yeah.
went back to really the grind.
One of the things that I seen in your social media, and it's probably a post that I'll always remember because it got me emotional. And you
Uh-huh.
were gifted like this watch. And what I
Yes.
mean, I think Bryce and Brex and my kids were like, Mom, why are you like tearing up? Because there's only very few things that will like help me tear me up.
Yeah.
I want you to think about, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. What was
Yeah.
that moment for you? What did you do? Obviously, you accomplished something big for you to get rewarded, and but more so than what the item was, it was something I think that was extremely significant in
Yeah.
your
It meant the world to me because I've been through a lot in my life and growing up, right? Like from 18, just in the middle of the mall, like just grinding and trying to make some money to take care of my family and whatnot. And it all led up to that one point of like where I finally feel appreciated. So I felt appreciated like in a sense where like it's a gift, right? It was a contest and it was a gift, but I knew that they knew I was gonna win that competition. But
By the way, for the listeners that are listening or watching this on YouTube, it was a Rolex watch.
yes, it's the watch I'm wearing now.
Yeah.
I wear it every day. But it meant the world to me and it came from the right people. The mentors that I have now, the leaders that I follow are people that have been through the same things that I have.
Mhm,
Right? We don't come from wealthy families. We come from rough areas. We come from just seeing our parents just work their whole life and not really having much to show for it.
mhm.
But I feel like that was a turning point in my career, even just this year, to get that watch, to be like, hey, wow, let's go. I have the support and it's time to go all in servicing and helping these people. Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
For those that are listening to this, or for someone that's either going through maybe a period in their sales career where they're not doing as many deals as they are, or they're a little stuck, or a newer agent, what advice would you give to them today?
Just keep going and never give up. If you give up, you'll never know. I hear it all the time. You can be 60, 70 years old and look back and be like, I didn't take that jump. I didn't take that risk, or I
Mhm.
didn't take advantage of this chance and this opportunity. Just never give up and keep going, right? For me, I've been doing it for 5, 6 years now, and I just live with no fear and never give up.
What's next for Randy? What are you most excited about that you are working on?
It's more or less like me, but I'm so excited about our team. Our team is growing so fast where everyone just wants to come and join our team and they would just want to be part of and be around us and be part of our culture. I'm
You guys
excited.
definitely from the outside looking in, right? I don't know everybody at your team, and they're in the Bay Area. For those that are listening, you guys have a different vibe. Like
Yeah.
it, and you can tell on social media that it's absolutely genuine. I'm not surprised that you're interviewing so many people today.
Yeah, I'm excited for this year. I'm excited to grow the team to 50 agents, high quality agents, where the culture's there, they're happy, everyone's taken care of. Team goals. It's switched from like personal goals to team goals now, right?
Exactly.
So we're looking to hit 100 million in sales this year, and then next year 200 million. And sometimes I have personal goals like myself. I'm looking to hit 25 million in production, and I'm looking to take my family to the Philippines because that is life changing. Brian even took me to the Philippines, right? After going there, I it opened my eyes to be like, hey, we have everything here. We have to take advantage of it.
Mhm.
Right? We have
Yeah.
to be able to win in this environment.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah, I'll never forget the first time that I went back home at 10 and I'm waiting for my kids to like be done with basketball so that they can see it because it was definitely life changing. You
yeah,
realize how good you have it here in America or how much opportunity you have. I think it motivated me on a totally different level and you couldn't teach it or read it out of a book for sure.
yeah, I agree. I agree.
How do you balance it all, Randy? You got family, right? You got your own production, you got your business. And like I said, 20 is not a small team for people to keep constantly asking you questions and supporting them. And sometimes putting your goals on the back burner because it's about the team goals and what we could do as a team.
Yeah. I manage it by waking up early. That helps me get things done. But I have a great team, personal team, right? I have assistants, virtual assistants. I have my wife that I can lean on. I have amazing team members and partners that I can always ask for help when I need it, right? But I bottle it in and I don't really ask for too much help with my partners unless it's high level,
Mhm.
right? To manage it, it's just there's so many different things, right? There's so many different systems. But I think the best way to manage is to also have mentors, right? Mentors or coaches where I can call and ask, hey, how do I fix this? Or how can I make my life easier? So, one of my coaches said, can you even go on vacation and enjoy it? Right. And I look at my business and I'd be like, no, I can't. Right. So I start implementing people that can assist me when I need it.
Yeah. And how old are your kids now?
So I have a 7-year-old and 3-year-old.
That
So
is amazing. And what do you think you're teaching them today as they're looking at your action?
hard work, right? What I was always taught growing up, and teaching them that you can do anything, right? As long as you get better every day and work on yourself, work on achieving your goals, you can accomplish it. I'm not there yet. I'm not completely at my goals, but that's just because I strive for like huge goals.
Yeah, I think it's sometimes you get to a point where, yes, it is about goals, but it's actually who you become in the process of these goals. And you look back 5 years ago, like you're a totally different person. Your environment is a totally different. And the people that I hang out with or I spend time with today, I didn't even know 3 years ago,
Yeah.
right? So it's amazing who you actually become because you've got these big goals.
Yeah, I agree.
And as we wrap up, there's always one question that I ask every single person on the show is what is one thing that Randy does to play bigger in business or in life?
No excuses. There are no excuses to succeed and just win every day.
You couldn't have said it any better. And I want to thank you for being on our show. I am just so proud of you. I'm proud of your growth that I've gotten to witness through social media and a little bit in person. And I appreciate all the things that you do for your team because it helps our industry. And I'm excited in supporting you in playing bigger, my friend.
Well, thank you so much.